Hello, everybody. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of April 24th. How you guys doing, man? I recorded those last two podcasts back to back before I went away, and I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. I miss you. I hope everyone's doing well out there. It's exciting, April. They said it would be, and it is. There's something that's going to be with you this year, and it has to do with your authority. We've talked a lot about alignment, but let's talk for a second about authority. Let's talk for a second about the idea that someone else knows better, that someone outside of you is closer to God or spirit or source or love. This idea of the guru, mm, the guru identity archetype collapsing this year is valid. And there's something about really beginning to trust your body's signal. We've talked about this for years now, but it's just becoming more and more important. What does your body say about what's happening right now? What does your body say about the words someone's using, about the way that their body's signaling to you about the environment? Like, where is your internal guru? Where is your internal compass of this is of love? This is for me. This is not for me. This is not for love. And people can use all the right language. Think about this. Have you ever had someone who you know has been through a lot of therapy and they almost use the therapy to excuse their behavior or weaponize the conversation? Have you ever had that experience? Where it's not about, oh, I'm trying to understand myself better. It's about me trying to get a more sophisticated, psychologically coherent story with which I can continue to cause harm, with which I can continue to do what I want to do, but I have this neat little package wrapped around it. There's something here about really beginning to feel the distinction when someone in a spiritual context, an energetic context, especially in a healing context, God help us, uses all of the right language, says all of the right things, like has all of the buzzwords, seems super sophisticated, and your body is not into it. Your body feels a contraction. Your body feels unsure. And we really, 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 really want to trust our body's signaling. Someone can be speaking about, the trees, and it can open us and calm us and settle us and welcome us and be of love and be of freedom and be of truth in a way that all the beautiful language, all the fancy talk, all the sophisticated talk can have the opposite impact on us. There's what's happening on the surface, and then there's deeper down what else is happening. And the what else is happening is my body, what my body is signaling to me about the space, about my sense of safety, about whether this is something that expands me, opens possibility for me, opens space for a fuller expression of me, or this is a space that's trying to contract me. This came up when we were away. I kept talking about it because we were pulling cards together. One of my teachers, my hypnosis teacher, Stephen Leeds, he used to say, you have to be so thoughtful about your words in a healing context. And that is a tarot card reading, that's a hypnosis session, that's an energy session, that's even any kind of conversation where there's a power dynamic, which is just so often the case. Everything you say becomes a blessing or a curse. There's no neutral statement. And so I want you to notice when you hear people saying all the beautiful things about spirituality or about evolution or about quantum timelines or about love or about God, but your body is saying this is not of that. It's so comforting when someone speaks what's true. If you notice that when someone just is who they are, are who they are, is who they are, and they just are saying what's true for them in the moment, and there's no agenda, it's so calming. When someone is saying the most beautiful things, but there's an agenda behind it, your body feels that. There's a signaling that happens, an alarm bell that goes off, and your body is very aware of that. It's reading the system much more clearly than maybe you give it credit for. So I just say all of that because this idea of centering the authority, I don't need to explain why that is for me or that is not for me. I don't need to explain why that opens me or contracts me. I don't need to explain why that's in alignment for me or that's not in alignment for me. I get to just experience it and trust my body's bell with that, my body's signaling around that. So this whole year, when we're talking about alignment, but we're also talking about how we reclaim our authority, reclaim our agency, and get to decide for ourselves, is that a space for me? Is that a conversation for me? Is this, again, like a safe place? And I was watching Moulin Rouge on the airplane home. I love that movie. It's so frenetic. I forgot how frenetic it is. But, they talk about, like, the vie bohème, right? The bohemian life. This idea of honoring love and beauty and truth and freedom above all things. There's a reason why those themes occur again and again. There's a reason why our body is calling for that on some level. And we need to build spaces and communities where we're free to express and free to yearn for these kind of higher octave values. So that's up for everyone. We're finishing up this Emperor Temperance Month. You might begin to notice that, again, the materiality of it might be consistent, but the felt quality is different. How things that you thought were one way are alchemizing, shifting, metamorphosizing into something else. And there's been so much healing this month. The concentration of Aries energy has given us so much potential to honor ourselves, to say, like, this again, like, this is for me, and I'm allowed to want that. And personally, it's been such a transformative month, and I hope that that's been the case for you as well. And an Ace of Pentacles week last week, I wonder what that was like for you and what you felt as a gift in the space, what you were offered. I was offered something that I did not see coming, and it's a beautiful alignment and a beautiful validation of where my heart's at and where I'm headed next. And that feels really good. So I'm excited about that. And it feels, yeah, like something I want to protect and tend to and put a little faith in. Part of the messaging that came through was, like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. What do I do with this gift? Doesn't mean I take all the gifts, but like this gift that I was offered, I'm not sure what it means exactly. It might be a little too good to be true. It might have come a little too easily. And so there's Scorpio suspicion that kicks in. But what if I just trust it? What if I trust that I know who I am, and no matter what happens, how I show up with that gift, I'll handle it if I need to pivot, and I can enjoy it if I have the opportunity to enjoy it. The card I pulled for us this week is the Four. My nails are a mess. Pardon me. My mother and aunts would not be pleased with me. I went surfing though, and it took off. It took off some of my polish. Okay, so I pulled the Four of Cups for us. The Four of Cups is traditionally the card of frustration or impatience. There's a kind of, what would the word be? It's dissatisfaction, it's frustration. Four of Cups. So Cups is water energy. It's our emotional body, it's our heart, it's our feelings. And the Four is stability. So there's something about the Four of Cups that is talking about stagnancy, right? So because Four is creating structure, and there's a way in which the water actually doesn't want to remain still. Nothing good comes from stagnant water. And so the Fours and the water together create kind of this uncomfortable bedfellows. So when we have the Four of Cups, we're talking about something that feels a little bit stuck, a little bit stagnant, a lack of momentum. We can feel like we're spinning our wheels a little bit. We can feel like why isn't it coming in? Why aren't things changing? Why aren't things shifting? With the Four of Cups, there's this kind of standing water feeling where this just doesn't feel good. It feels like things are kind of festering or building, or there's a lack of release, a lack of change, a lack of flow. And when we talk about this card traditionally, it has this vibe of dissatisfaction and also contraction. So with the Four of Cups, there's this sense of dissatisfaction, but also locking in. Have you ever had a situation that feels frustrating, or you want something to change and you're looking at the table and you're like, well, it has to be one of these three things. I have to choose one of these three things, or this is only going to resolve in one of three ways. And we get hyper focused on it. We get so locked in on these three outcomes that we actually prevent the universe from offering a fourth option. We actually prevent the energy from flowing because we lock down on the water. With the Four of Cups, there's just this sense of frustration. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to manifest and trying to understand the emotion and trying to dig in and make something change. But there's a way in which there's a push against change. And so it causes internal swirling or stagnation. So in a Four of Cups week, we always want to be zooming out. When the Four of Cups shows up, we always want to take our hands off the wheel and be like, let go and let God, and I have no idea what's possible, and I am a very fallible human with a very tender heart trying to make sense of something that can't quite be resolved for me. So it's like the intensity, the compression around the heart space causes the mind to go into overdrive, causes the body to feel frustration, fatigue, stagnation. And there's this way, and I just kind of churn around the emotion. And so when the Four of Cups comes up, we want to really like, whew, take a deep breath. We want to move our bodies. We want to not let the narrative carry us away. And we want to have this sense of, I actually don't know what's happening here. I'm just going to honor that I feel something. I feel yearning, desire, grief, ache, whatever the emotion is that's in your heart. And I'm not going to get sticky with it. We want to allow this energy to make us feel more alive, not more attached. There's an attachment, there's a latching on with the Four of Cups that does not serve us even a little bit. So when the Four of Cups comes up, we want to keep breathing, keep moving our bodies, keep honoring the emotion, but not locking down around the emotion. Keep honoring what we want, what we're being called towards, without getting super attached or super sticky with it. It's a beautiful time to be like, I want this, or I feel this, and I don't need to make meaning of it. I'm allowed to almost call it out to the universe, like, universe, my heart feels this, and let that be like, trust the universe is going to handle it. Trust that the emotion will not stay stagnant. Water cannot abide that stagnation. It will either evaporate, it will spill over, something will shift, but it will find a way back towards flow and movement. You can be the most hindering part of that during a Four of Cups week. Like, you can get in your own way around that on a Four of Cups week. Now, here's what's interesting about the way this card came in this week. First of all, it came in reversed, which I, again, like, it's not my vibe, but they've been speaking these reversals, especially on the podcast. And there's a sense of this actually resolving itself. So there's a sense that this Three of Cups, this Four of Cups, is not a new experience, but that it's something that we have been sitting with. There has been stagnation. And now the universe is, let me resolve this with you. Let me help you find movement again. Let me help you find flow again. There's a way that the Four of Cups this week actually comes in less as a moment of stagnation, less as something we're wrestling with, and more as a resolution, like an opening of the doors, an opening of the dam, an opportunity showing up, something that actually soothes and works with whatever our heart has been aching for. So it can be that the grief finds a way towards movement. It can be that the desire finds someplace to land, or something to connect to, or something to connect with. There's something about how I've been in this buffering pool of stagnant water around this thing that means so much to me, that's in my heart, that's in my emotional body, and the universe coming in and being like, I told you I wouldn't leave you. I told you I wouldn't drop you. I told you that I heard you. Just because you couldn't see how this is going to resolve doesn't mean I ever left you, right? It's like what's that like poster from the 80s, which I like loved as a child, that was the two footprints on the sand, and then the guy being like, well, why, when I was at the hardest times in my life, were there only one set of footprints? And it was like, well, because God was like, well, I carried you during those times. I never left you. I just carried you when it got hard. There's something about that energy. Do you remember what I'm talking about? It's like a motivational poster, but it's such a beautiful idea, right? That God never leaves you, that spirit, your ancestors, your angels, or guides, they never abandon you. Sometimes they have to carry you. This feels like a recognition that you've been carried. The energy of this card can have this feeling of like, I've been left, I've been abandoned, I ache, and no one hears me. And there's something about the way it came in reverse that's like, I was here the whole time. I heard you the whole time. I've been cooking this up behind the scenes the whole time. Because that's the idea with the Four of Cups, is that you're so concentrated, you're so stuck that you don't see the miracle. You don't see the Ace of Cups, the one cup that's being offered to you from God's source, which the Ace of Cups is the card of falling in love, the card of, oh, wow, I forgot that my heart is always seeking expansion. I forgot that even in my wounded humanity, I can still fall in love. That's the energy of that cup that's being handed to us in the Four of Cups. And this, yeah, there's how God or spirit is handing you this fourth cup, but you're so focused on the three cups that you're like, I'm all by myself. I'm walking on the sand. There's only one set of footprints." And God's like, "I had you the whole time, man. Relax." There's that kind of energy. So it feels really good. And it feels like something about your work has paid off. So maybe it's your patience, maybe it's your diligence, maybe it's your ability to keep showing up on the mat. I'm told you guys I'm studying with Kim Krantz a little bit, and she said something that she said a lot of times, but I really heard her this time. She talked about her drawing teacher, and her drawing teacher used to say to her, "If you draw and draw and draw every day, and you show up to the page with love in your heart, and you keep at it, one day the line will come alive." And when the line comes alive, that's when your work really begins to impact people because you're channeling something much bigger than yourself. There's something here about you showed up every day. You came back to your journal. You drew and you drew and you drew, even when you were lonely, even when you felt like God had abandoned you, even when you felt like your heart ached, even when you felt like the grief was overwhelming, even when you felt stagnant, even when you felt stuck. And it's like this week, the line comes alive. And you're like, "Oh, I see you." It's just this energy of, see, it was all cool the whole time. Like, it was, the line was gonna come alive. I never abandoned you. Here's an Ace of Cups. There's something really beautiful about just the recognition that we're never left. It's never over until it's over, and even then, who knows? And we're never really left behind. So even these moments of stagnation, even these places where we're swirling in our own emotional waters, is not for no reason. Sometimes that's the vibe. Sometimes the vibe is, let's sit here and just stew for a little while. And as we're stewing, keep honoring ourselves, keep loving ourselves, keep showing up to the page, keep showing up on the mat, keep showing up for ourselves until the stagnation resolves itself. And then who are you? Who are you when you've endured that? Who are you when you've existed in that contraction, in that stagnation, and then found flow again? That's actually a very beautiful movement. So that's what I got for you for the Four of Cups. Let me see if there's anything else. There seems to be some kind of resolution of, again, isolation or loneliness. So it could be about, you and spirit, you and God, but it also could be, yeah, a sense of you don't have to do it alone. There is something about feeling, there's some resolution of a kind of isolation, a kind of loneliness. I have the sensation that less he's going to get up and go find a party, but that friends are going to come find him in the woods. There's something about, I don't know, you getting out of your own way with help from spirit, but also you getting out of your own way with help from other people. There seems like there might be some contact made this week that will feel just warm, just like, oh, I don't have to do this by myself. I do have my people. I am held much more widely than maybe I appreciate or realize. So, all right, cool. Four of Cups. Yeah, let's see how it goes. If you find yourself in a bit of stagnation this week, okay. Keep showing up to the page, keep showing up on the mat, whatever your practice is. Know that it will resolve itself, and really try to avoid and or practice through contraction. So if you find yourself getting hyper focused, hyper attached, again, like, the emotion, the feeling is valid. Attaching it to something is where we get ourselves in trouble. So how can I allow myself to feel this more fully so I am more alive in my truth without becoming more attached? That's kind of the medicine for the Four of Cups. Knowing that something is cooking. There is some way in which the energy will find movement, will find expression. And oftentimes it's just about patience. And it's okay to feel dissatisfied and frustrated, but like, it is what it is. Sometimes we're in that spot. And then on the other hand, you might find yourself moving through stagnation or having the resolution to something where you felt kind of stuck and stagnant. And that's going to feel really good. If you're on that part of the boat, that's the party side of the boat. That's like oh man, I'm so glad that this is moving again. I'm so glad I don't feel stuck in this right now. Okay, cool. That's what I got for you. Sending you love as always. Sending you focus on your practice, whatever that is, and let it be a practice again that opens you, that expands you, that allows you to live more fully connected to truth and beauty and freedom and love, not the things that maybe you're supposed to do or you should do or someone else tells you is the right thing to do. Trust your body, trust what feels good to you, what brings you into the most expansive sense of yourself, because you deserve that. Okie dokie, Charlie Brown. Talk to you later. Bye.